today we're going to talk about customer satisfaction and more specifically the causes of customer satisfaction. First we start by defining what actually is customer satisfaction. And that is when the perceived performance of a retail experience exceeds the expectations that a customer has prior to the purchase. So if we want to express that visually, it would be that satisfaction equals the difference between the perceived performance and the expectations, as you can see here. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as this. You can't measure the causes of customer satisfaction only using this performance expectations exceeding model, because there are a few problems. The first one being that there are different types of norms. All customers perceive things differently based on their expectations, their values, and their experiences, and therefore it cannot be generally measured like that. Also, people evaluate the importance of characteristics of a product or a service differently. And also, it's quite hard to find a pattern with all the studies that are conducted about causes of customer satisfaction, as the studies are quite incongruent. There's not a clear pattern. Then, the last of the problems is the paradoxes that we can see in the causes, or in the evaluation of customer satisfaction. And we've tried to express this in a little graph. This just means that even if the performance, if we look at this point, is very low, it is still higher than the expectations the customer had. So a customer can be satisfied even if the performance of the service is very low. On the other hand, it can also be the fact that the expectations of one particular customer are so high that even though the performance or the service given is almost perfect, the customer is still dissatisfied because their expectations were so high. Yeah.
Measuring causes of customer satisfaction can be quite tricky, but there are a few methods, and I'll walk you through them now. So firstly, we have the critical incident method, which poses the same question to all the interviewees and features an open response space. So this requires that the individuals responding to the question will describe a particular experience they have. This will generate individual stories. For example, a question could look like, describe a very satisfying retail interaction. Then we have the standardized questionnaire, which will pose the same question to everyone and will offer a limited response space. So, for example, how was your experience? And then you'll be able to answer by using these 4 options. Thirdly, we have the mystery/ghost shoppers, and these are professional observers who will pose as customers, and by doing so they'll evaluate the experience. Moving on, we have the analysis of defectors. So in loyalty programs, when a customer has been inactive for a longer period of time, the firm will contact them to find out why they have defected. 5, the 5th one, is the observation of customers. So then the customer will be observed, and their behaviors will be analyzed, and this can reveal causes of dissatisfaction that otherwise would not have been discovered. And lastly, we have experiments. So then the company can construct an experiment, and for example, they'll change one factor, keeping everything else constant, and this will measure how satisfaction changes depending on one variable.
A study was conducted using the critical incident method, where different customer stories were gathered in order to find different causes of customer satisfaction. The study found 3 different main causes of customer satisfaction. The first one was employee response to customer needs. So customers simply found it very helpful when the employee, for instance, individualized or personalized the offer in order to satisfy the customer. Secondly, any kind of unprompted or unsolicited employee actions were also found very helpful. For instance, extra or unexpected activities or any kind of surprise that also yields higher satisfaction for the customer. And thirdly, employee response to failure was also seen as very important. So for instance, an apology that would turn a dissatisfaction into satisfaction, or any kind of apology in combination with anything else, such as a compensation. And this study was focused on one particular sector in the retail industry.
Yeah. So in conclusion, we can say that there is no general answer, but with the help of some studies, you can pinpoint out some causes of satisfaction and use them to improve your retail